3:04 on your Thursday morning. Welcome back to the Kicks 96.5 Morning Show. The final Saturdays in the Square is this Saturday in Crazy Woman Square. This month features Sarah Sample, the Low Water String Band, and the headliners, the Stillhouse Junkies. The Stillhouse Junkies are an American roots band out of Durango, Colorado. Their latest album is called Small Towns, and you're going to hear their latest single, Never Going Back Again. But first, we're excited to have Alyssa Wolf from Stillhouse Junkies on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Wow, you guys have been busy. 44 shows you've played in the last 3 months, Alyssa. How's the summer been?
It's been great, and yes, very, very busy. But we do this full time, and we love it. And we have seen a lot of the country and met a lot of wonderful people. And so far, it's been great. I can't believe the summer's almost over.
Yeah. How many days have you been home this summer?
Let's see. Since the beginning of June, we have slept in our own beds only 4 nights. And those were not consecutive nights.
Yeah, it's crazy looking at your guys' schedule. How's it been? I mean, touring, you got to make money, but it's been rough with gas, inflation. Can you guys feel it being out on the road?
Oh, definitely. You know, you have to be smart and cut corners to save money for sure. And we're really resourceful. Luckily, the three of us are, we're on the same page in terms of trying to make money and save money. So you have to be smart about it. It's really tough. Gas is definitely very expensive, and we've had to do a couple van updates and repairs, and food's expensive, but, you just do your best. And when you have those moments where you feel discouraged, you just have to remember we have a really cool job and we love it, so it's worth it.
Exactly. We'll talk about that. I saw a line that says, Stillhouse Junkies is a one-of-a-kind creative project born out of the collective passions of 3 individuals with very different musical backgrounds, which you guys do. But this whole thing started like in a jam situation in Durango. Give us the background, Alyssa. Tell us how you guys all met.
Yeah, of course. So Fred Kozak, he's our guitar player and mandolin player. He moved to Durango in the end of 2016 and sort of jumped into the music scene as a way of, meeting people and networking. And at around the same time, both Cody Tinnan, our bass player, and I moved back to the area. He and I actually are natives of the area and had moved away for a while. So we were all getting reintegrated into this music scene, and I actually met Fred at an acoustic jam on a Tuesday night downtown Durango on the basement of an Irish pub, and he had already met Cody through some mutual music friends. So we all met through the jam scene, and Cody and Fred were actually in another more traditional bluegrass band at the time, playing music together. So Fred introduced me to Cody, and fast forward a little bit, Fred had actually started this group with another 2 individuals in town, and they used to play a local distillery every Friday night. And I used to go on Friday nights and sit in with them, and I think I eventually just squeezed my way into the band because I was there so much. And then we ended up hiring Cody as our bass player, and it took the trio formation in spring of 2018.
Yeah. With everybody having their different backgrounds, how hard was it to create your guys' sound?
It wasn't hard. It came really naturally. A huge part of it is Fred is a very talented, prolific songwriter. And part of what pulled me and Cody into this trio was Fred's music, because he was writing. And it really catered towards our backgrounds. Cody has some jazz background and bluegrass background. I come from a classical background primarily, and Fred comes, he's got all sorts of stuff. He has like jazz and funk and bluegrass and all the things. And, it wasn't hard. It was a very natural thing for the 3 of us to come together around Fred's songwriting. And it took us a little while to find our style. We had to pick out arrangements and spend some time together, but it was very natural. And I think the original songs that we write and perform really do cater towards supporting all of our backgrounds. A lot of the stuff Fred writes requires me to tap into my classical technique, which is really fun for me and exciting, and allows Cody to tap into his really, really amazing ability to groove. He's also really into old-time music, so he's our driver. He's our groover. So, yes, it was actually really easy for us to come together around this style of music.
Huh. Yeah. Well, and you mentioned it. You're a classically trained violinist as a kid. You played until you were like 17, 18. Then you took a break. And then what was it? Did you go to a bluegrass concert? What got you back into it?
That's a really great question. You know, I used to go to bluegrass festivals growing up, and I used to go to jams with my dad and just observe but not really play. And I never made the connection that I could be a fiddle player. I was really just in the classical mindset growing up. But in my mid-20s, I was working a corporate job in Washington, D.C., and I hit a wall and just felt like something was missing in my life, and I definitely missed the mountains. So I went back to Colorado with no real plan, but I did have an itch to play music again, so I actually tapped into Irish and Celtic music as a way of training myself to play by ear instead of reading sheet music. So for me, it was just I went back to Durango, and I started going to jams and trying to play fiddle versus violin, because I thought if I changed up the style, I might enjoy it more. It was just a natural thing that happened. I just started tapping into the scene and learning how to play bluegrass and other styles.
Yeah, well, and I saw a video. You were a fiddle instructor at I Am Music like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Was it the dream to always be in a band?
You know, I always had a bit of a dream to play in a band, and I remember going to the Telluride Bluegrass Festival as a kid and the Pagosa Folk and Bluegrass Festival and wanting to be up there playing music, and I wanted to play in a band, but I wasn't really sure how to go about it. And, you know, the I Am Music thing was really wonderful. That was actually a huge part in my journey to become a touring musician. When I moved back to Durango, I tapped into that school just by chance, and I started teaching violin to young students. And because that school is a very creative-minded school, their whole mission is, you know, teaching students how to not just play instruments, but compose music and be original artists. It started to teach me a lot about being my own original artist myself. And everyone who works at that school is a professional musician, so it encouraged me to get out and play and tour by working there. So, I was a fiddle instructor there, and then I ended up becoming the executive director of the school for a while, too, which was a really rewarding, fun experience.
Wow. Huh, yeah, you never know what happens with your path in life. That's crazy. We're chatting with Alyssa from Stillhouse Junkies. Go check them out, stillhousejunkies.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram. Small Towns is their latest album, and see them Saturday night at Saturdays in the Square right here in Buffalo. Well, Small Town is your first label release. Who's this Dark Shadow Recording, or how'd you get hooked up with them?
Yeah, so Dark Shadow Recording is a small label based out of Goodlettsville, so it's just outside of Nashville. And the folks that run it are Stephen Mogen and his partner Yana Mogen. And we met Stephen at IBMA back in 2021. We at the time had a full album's worth of music to record, and we were just sitting on it because it was just after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a label and just sort of put the intent out there. And we performed at the awards function at IBMA, and Stephen Mogen saw us perform, and I saw him later that day, and I think it was just serendipitous. He overheard me speaking to someone about us looking for a label, and we exchanged cards and had a great conversation about it, and it turned out to be a really wonderful fit. And Stephen Mogen is incredibly talented. He's a wonderful producer. He has a beautiful studio. He's in Sam Bush's band. He's the guitar player, so a lot of people know him as Mojo.
Okay.
So we signed up at the label fall 2021 and immediately went into pre-production that January and recorded our album in February of 2022 and released it in fall of 2022. So it happened very quickly for the first album.
Yeah, and it's their first vinyl release, which is cool. Can you believe it's almost been out a year?
We cannot. We actually just realized that a couple nights ago that it's about to be September. I mean, it's been an entire year since we released that album, which is crazy.
Yeah, time flies. Well, you mentioned kids and teaching kids. We have like a bluegrass camp around here. What do you think about kids playing music? Do we see more getting into bluegrass and more maybe because you're a female and you're helping inspire kids do it as well? But do you see more kids coming out?
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. So I actually had the privilege of teaching the junior bluegrass camp that leads up to the Pagosa Folk and Bluegrass Camp out in Colorado. And that really opened my eyes this year to see how many kids are playing bluegrass and how many are really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole nother generation of young bluegrassers coming up right now, and you see them at these festivals especially, and there's a lot of kids academies and junior academies that are part of these big festivals that kids can tap into now that have like world-class instructors. And it's definitely, there's another generation coming up. But we have some really phenomenal instructors out there, people who are really passionate about teaching that are taking a lead in this area. And I have a lot of hope for the future of bluegrass. There's a lot of young kids coming up that are mind-blowing.
Yeah, I don't think bluegrass is going anywhere for quite a while,
No.
so that's a good thing. I saw on one of your pages, Woodbelly. We love Woodbelly. They're a Colorado band. I imagine you've run into those guys.
Oh yeah, they're really good friends of ours. We first met them at Telluride Bluegrass in 2018. We were all in the band contest together, and we bonded with them through that. And since then, we've been friends. We've done a lot of shows with those guys. We just played Rocky Grass with them. We run into them all the time, especially when we're up in the Front Range. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. And are you friends with Dave from the Two Tracks in Sheridan?
You know, I know about Two Tracks, but I don't know Dave personally, no.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, he's a cello player. I thought maybe you guys have an in there with playing fiddle and cello. It's only a matter of time.
Definitely. Yeah, I will meet him.
Yeah. Well, in Woodbelly, they just got a drummer. Town Mountain got a drummer. Any inklings of you guys going, well, do we need a drummer, guys?
So I think no. And the reason being is because we have found a really unique percussive sound.
Yeah.
Which if you come see us play on Saturday, you will see it. I don't think we have ambitions of ever had. I mean, obviously, never say never. No one should ever say never. But I will say at this time we have no ambitions of having a drummer. However, bands like Woodbelly, Town Mountain, and even like Steep Canyon Rangers that mix strings with drums, I love it. I think it's a really, really awesome move. I just don't see us doing that as a trio at this time.
Yeah, well, you guys are a trio. And Cody, he also plays the fiddle and the banjo?
He does. So Cody picked up, I mean, he is a deep, deep, deep lover of old-time music. And Cody picked up clawhammer banjo, probably in 2018, 2019. And then shortly thereafter, he also picked up the fiddle, and he's progressed insanely fast. Like, he is so passionate about it. And if you ever see us on the road and you're an old-time player, come find us, because we love to jam old time. It's like our side thing. Whenever we're not performing, we love to just jam old time.
Wow, what a talented guy, man!
Oh yeah,
3 totally different instruments that he's jamming on. That's amazing. Go and check him out Saturday night. Saturdays in the Square, Crazy Woman Square here in Buffalo, 3 until 9 o'clock. Stillhouse Junkies will be coming on probably around 7:30, I'd imagine. Your summer tour is coming to an end. I think Buffalo might be your last date, but it doesn't end for Stillhouse Junkies. Jesus, you guys are hitting the road for the fall tour, but it's cool. You're ending it in Durango, so that's got to be kind of nice.
Yeah, so the fall, we are leaving I think September 7th, and we're going to be out for 7 weeks again. But yes, we actually, the very tail end of that tour, we come back to Durango, and we're going to do 2 hometown shows Halloween weekend, where we basically just sell out Anamoskeena Theater and have a hometown throwdown, so that'll be a beautiful way to sort of end the fall season, and then we get a nice little break after that.
Yeah, so you're going to get about 2 weeks off before you hit the road again.
Yeah,
What do you have? What's a tour item essential, Alyssa? What do you have to bring on the road with you?
Tour item. Oh, well, there's a few things. Wow, that's such a funny question. Okay, we bring. Well, I'll name 3 things that we always bring with us. We have a cooler. We have a Yeti cooler in the van that we keep ice and healthy snacks in. We have a thunder gun, which is a little massage tool, so when one of us gets a knot from sitting in the van too much, we can bust out the thunder gun. And we bring a camping pad called a Hess. It's a really wonderful company out of Colorado that has developed an incredibly comfortable camping pad. So when we only have 2 beds and one of us has to sleep on the floor, we rotate who sleeps on the Hess. So the Hess camping pad is essential because it feels like a bed.
Nice. I'll have to look into one of those. Wow. Well, your latest single, Never Going Back Again, it's a Fleetwood Mac cover, but you guys, you twisted this song, but then you didn't twist the song. It still kept kind of the original vibe. When you listen to it, you're like, I've heard this song before. But you put your complete total spin on it. How long did it take you to work out the arrangement with this song?
It was a great question. So we actually, in our pre-production, we saved this cover for sort of our the last piece of the project. We had everything else written, all the originals were ready to go. But we knew we wanted a cover, and so we went through a long list of ideas and sort of hashed through it and came to the decision to do this one. And, once Cody and Fred figured out the bass groove, we had to kind of figure that piece out first. And then we wanted to hint at what song it was, but not completely give away the licks in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it took us a decent few hours to come up with a skeleton of how we were going to do it. And then it took some time for us to practice it and really work it out. But I don't remember exactly how long it took, but, definitely a matter of hours to get the skeleton and the idea down.
Yeah, you guys, it's masterful what you did. It's magical what you did to the song. It's because at the beginning you can't really tell it's the Fleetwood Mac song, and then the lyrics, and about halfway through you're like, wow, this is the Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, it's cool what you did for sure, and the harmony is just amazing with you guys in that song. And the video, whoever did this video, it's simple, but yet it's a really cool idea, and it totally fits the band.
Yeah, so the video, we have to give credit to Cody's partner, Renee Cornu. She's an artist in Durango. She's a photographer primarily, but she partnered up with another woman, Hannah Wilson, and Hannah and Renee really they were the mastermind behind that project. They were both really wanting to do it's called stop motion. So basically every single frame, they had to put together, I don't know, something like, I can't remember it. It might be over 100 frames. So that entire movie is a bunch of still shots that they put together to create stop motion. So it's a video made from still shots. So that was their idea, and they were the masterminds behind picking up the flowers, and we had to figure out the outfits and the backdrop, and so a lot of the credit of that goes to Hannah and Renee, and then us wanting to sort of fit the vibe of our band, which is a little bit of sort of hip, vintage, a little bit of bluegrass. So that was a fun project. Yeah,
it totally fits the band. It's a great video. Go check it out. Go to YouTube. Go to their website. You can see it. Never Going Back Again by Stillhouse Junkies. Go and see them Saturday nights. Saturdays in the Square. It's the last one this Saturday night. They are headlining the show, so go and see them. You're also going to you're in Red Lodge, tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night,
yeah. So they're in Red Lodge tomorrow night if you're listening to us up there, and then Saturday in Buffalo. Well, safe travels, Alyssa. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And here we go. It's never going back again. It's Stillhouse Junkies. It's Kicks 96.5.